So we have the notes, which is essentially a whiteboard, unlimited space, files where you're saving things, browser, going to the internet, and now there's the Clever Store. The Clever Store is where all the applications that you can download to the board are located. The beautiful thing about the Clever Store is all the applications are education-based. They've been stripped of all their advertisements, and they've been recalibrated so that when they show on this enormous screen, they're not going to be all pixelated. So you can scroll through and look at the different apps, and if there's one that you like, you can click on it. It gives you a little description, gives you some screenshots, and if it's something you think you're interested in, come over here, free download, and then now it's downloading it to the board. Once you've downloaded it, click install. It's going to be there all the time. You do not have to reinstall it each time you use the board. So now that the app is stored or installed, I'm going to click done. And I'm going to go again to home. And that app was just downloaded to this apps section. So when I click here, these are the ones that are automatically downloaded to your board. But if I scroll over, Lecture Notes has now been added. Any app you download will then be placed in your apps section. One last thing is, if you're familiar with the iPhone or the iPad, you can organize your apps into folders. To do so, you'll click on an app and you'll drag it until it's on top of the app you want it to be with. You'll drop it in, and now there's a folder and those two apps are there. You can then click and drag any other apps you want to add. That's a nice feature if you have certain math apps you want to keep together, or first hour, I just want you to use these apps, something like that. Way to keep it organized once there's a lot of applications downloaded. Now that you've created a folder, you're probably going to want to rename it. You click on the folder, and then you click on the name. You can now rename your folder. So maybe this was my math apps. And I hit enter, and now that folder has been renamed. One thing you probably have already noticed is that when you need to type something, so let's go to the browser, the keyboard pops up. However, the keyboard is very large. You can move the keyboard. However, I highly suggest that if you have to go to any place where you have to enter your password, to do it either before the kids come or do it on the computer, because it is pretty obvious what you're typing in. So just a word of caution.